Maybe I'm crazy, but soda is a perfectly acceptable dipping option for chicken fingers.
I prefer milkshakes, but yes, drinks are dipping sauces.
I do also like milkshakes. I think we may align on that.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.
All right, welcome to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman.
Hey.
This is a very special day.
Yes.
For lots of reasons.
Yes.
One, because we're alive. Thank you, God.
Yes.
Two, because it is our 1 year anniversary. We totally forgot about, which is why there are no decorations.
Right. Yes. So we celebrated with a set this year.
Yes, we did. Exactly. Yes. We totally forgot about it. That's what happens when you're on the grind.
Yeah.
Things just
Football
happen,
season,
and you're like,
man.
oh my God, it's my birthday. I forgot, because I'm working so hard. So
Yes.
So anyway, it's that, and much more importantly, it's Beyonce's birthday.
Do we do the clap right after?
What do we do for Beyonce's birthday? Thank you, Beyonce, for all the great gifts that you bestow on us as human beings.
All of your Instagram posts
Yes.
that look like
Nope.
the fans.
There will be zero Beyonce slander today.
Okay, yep.
Forbid
Thank
it.
you so much for
And
4.
yes.
And all the other albums.
We love you, Beyonce. And I'm
Yes.
going to see her in a couple weeks. Which I can't.
You're going to you about to go on the run? You about to go on the run in LA?
Should I dress? Okay, so what do you see? I think here's the
talk
thing
to me.
about
Let's do
Beyonce
it.
concerts.
Yeah,
People
let's-
dress up like Beyonce for Beyonce concerts. I think
Do
it's
they?
very weird.
It's like going to a Star Wars movie?
Kind of.
Really?
Yes.
I would dress up like Jay-Z in the Louvre, like with no shirt under a suit
Oh
jacket.
yeah, that's a look.
Right? Yeah,
That's
might
a
as well.
look. Is that a good Halloween costume?
I think.
But you have to-
for you and
you-
Earl for a show.
Could I talk him into doing that? I don't know.
He just got to put on a nice blazer.
We're thinking about going as Prince in Apollonia.
Ooh, Prince and Apollonia. I like that.
Yes.
Is he gonna have a motorcycle that he just inflatable motorcycle?
Yeah,
he just walks around?
we're gonna do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it right. You
gotta do
do the
it.
whole thing.
gotta do
So
it.
lots of good stuff today. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yes.
Tomlinson joins us today. LT played with my brother in New York. Obviously a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So we'll talk some football stuff and some very interesting church stuff.
Yeah.
It's very. You know what? We're gonna talk a lot of God today.
Amen.
Yes. I went to church on Sunday.
You did.
I did.
You didn't tell me you went to church on
I don't
Sunday.
have to tell you if I go to church on
You was
Sunday.
texting me about volleyball. You didn't text me about church.
Oh, is that bad of me? Am I bad?
I mean,
For not
no.
inviting you to church?
Now I'm just gonna text you on Sunday. Hey, you going to church today?
Don't do that. But would you like to go to church?
Yeah.
What kind of churchgoer are you?
I mean,
I'm very uninvolved, if I'm being honest.
uninvolved. Yeah, because
Because my worship is for me, it's not for you.
Yeah,
and I enjoy the choir.
I put my time
okay,
in
I enjoy
earlier in
the
life.
I enjoy the worship.
Right, yeah.
Okay, but I sound like I say worship, like I say worship.
Worship.
I enjoy the worship.
LA
but
churches
it's
are
for
different.
me.
LA churches are different.
How so? I've only been to one LA church.
It's very theatrical. It's
Well, I
like
mean,
it's
it's
like the pastors are perfect looking. They're just very attractive people and they love God, obviously, and they just show out. It's extra. It's in Hollywood. It's church in
Because
Hollywood.
generally things in LA are very subdued.
Right, exactly.
So
they love God that much
they
more.
love God more.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Anyway, so I've like I said, lots of God talk today. All right, and there's just everyone is just very, very offended. It just
What they mad at?
well, shoe companies doing things, and people are upset about
my
it. So we're gonna get to that, and
gosh.
I'm just gonna lay on the petty thick for
Goodness.
that. So if you're easily offended, if you're a snowflake, maybe this isn't for you. We're gonna mix in God, and we're gonna mix in the offensive things. But the pastor did say, growth begins when you are offended.
That's what he said this weekend.
Yeah, he also said if you don't share what you learned, then you forget it. So I'm sharing it with you and
Thank you.
with everyone.
Did you take notes?
No.
You got to take notes,
I
Jordan.
take them in my head.
How you gonna? You can't take notes in your head.
Sure you can. I just did.
No.
I just passed on the word to you. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh! How much time did you get in trouble as a kid for forgetting what your mom told you to
I
do?
forget everything all the time. I actually have a very bad memory. And that's just always been a problem for me. All right, well, let's get back on track. We're going to start with LT. All right, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson is joining us, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I was actually there for your Hall of Fame induction because my brother got in the same year.
Yeah.
Hey.
So congratulations still. I'm
Damn.
sure that doesn't get old yet.
Of course not.
No, that was a great week.
Yeah, why don't you bring the jacket here? I like this one, but
Yeah, I think I would be obnoxious about it. I'll just wear it everywhere.
Yeah,
put some sweat stains in it.
man, you can't get that thing dirty
Yeah.
like that. You know, that gold is just
It's something different, right?
Spectacular.
Although
buy that
I
jacket.
feel
you
like
can't
for
buy it.
Ray, they may have made him like a special windbreaker type.
Right, yeah, Under Armour material.
Yes, he's got to get the movement. Put an extra panel on each
Man,
side.
the way he sweated through that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because you know he's speaking from here.
Well, guy was speaking through him.
Yeah.
that's-
Thank you for that segue, Brandon.
you.
That's what we in the
Yeah,
biz call a
exactly.
transition. Speaking of, you are in a movie, a faith-based NASCAR inspired movie. It was inspired by the Rascal Flatts song "Bless the Broken Road." Directed by Harold Kronk, who also directed God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2. And Jordan Sparks is in it as well. And you play a preacher,
Yep.
right, from Kentucky.
Yep.
Okay, so lots of questions. But first one, this is your acting debut, right?
Yeah.
All right, so how did this come about?
So an executive producer on the film is a guy by the name of Gary Lewis. I've known Gary for a long time. And so he called me up out of the blue. I hadn't talked to Gary in over a year. Called me up and said, hey, we're casting for a film and we need a pastor. He said, I thought of you. And he said, but before you tell me to screw off, just hear me out. So he started explaining the role and he said, let me send you, the script and let you read it. And then the other thing that he said to me that really got my interest was that, hey, some of the proceeds are going to be donated to DAV, Disabled American Vets. And I'm thinking like, really? He said, yeah, it's the first time in the history of Hollywood this has ever been done. Nobody does that when you think about that. Mm-hmm. And so after thinking about it and reading through the script, I just felt like, man, I need to be a part of this film. And that's just how it came about.
So had you done any preaching before?
Well, the interesting thing is growing up in a small town in Central Texas like I did, I was part of one of those churches that was pretty much family and friends, and it was a small church. But we used to have these teen days where the teens had to pretty much run the church. And so I got my first taste of preaching like when I was 14, 14, 13, 15. And so I had did it then, but not really like since then. But, you kind of understand how to do it. And my mom is a pastor.
Oh, okay.
And so,
There you go.
and so, I've been around pastors pretty much my whole life.
Okay, so you hadn't done it in a while. So did you just load up on the word before the shooting of the movie?
But here's the thing. The funny thing is I went in with the perception like, okay, I'm going to be enthusiastic because that's what I was used to being around. Those preachers that yell and scream.
Right, yeah,
and so I'm thinking
Black
like,
churches.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm
say it,
thinking like, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I get up there getting ready to do that. And the director comes out and he said, no, hey, I want you to be loving and accepting. And I'm thinking like, okay.
But is that how you give speeches usually? Because there's a little bit of like, speaking of Ray, there's a little bit of, preacher-ish element, inspiration element.
yes,
So when you're giving
yes.
speeches to your
Holy
teammates
Ghost
or
is
something
present.
like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so my time with the Jets, as you remember, I used to be the guy that spoke with the team before the game. Like I'd cheer them up, inspire them.
Right.
And so
you weren't sweet and loving.
yeah, so it wasn't sweet and loving like, hey guys, let's go out there and win today. No, it's not. It wasn't like this. Like, hey, let's go kick their
Who is it
bleed.
that,
You know,
who is it
the-
that gives those
You know.
speeches? Is that Andy Dalton? I believe that's an Andy Dalton-esque speech.
Drew
yeah.
Brees. Drew Brees does
Drew
it too.
Brees. Yeah, but Drew Brees is a winner though, so he can kind of have his own
Yeah,
style. Andy, I think I don't want to misrepresent Andy Dalton, but I feel like I have a strong
haven't
feeling
heard
it's the
that one.
Andy.
It's a slight
is like,
whisper.
let's go out there and play together.
I haven't heard that one.
Is that, can we
I haven't heard
It,
that
I,
one.
it was
very famous.
It was
Who
one.
is it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Hey, it's week 1 now. First chance to show who we are. Let's play smart, let's play fast, let's play physical. That's what they always preach. Let's go do this together. Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Playmakers.
What?
Don't-
I think
now you bringing
y'all
up the
picking on the
TCU.
frog.
Yeah, you can't come out
y'all-
with TCU horn frog right now.
I'm not
To
saying
the
he
legend.
does this nonsense. I'm saying that this is what I'm trying to
Out of
find
all
out.
the people.
Okay, we've derailed. So that wasn't your preaching style as planned, and then you got on set and they were like, we want something different from you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's part of, I think the background of being a player, you're used to taking coaching, direction. That's what we want as players. Like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And fortunately, Harold Kronk, the director, he was good at that. He was saying, hey, we're telling a story. This is what I want from you. This is the way you have to be. And, I think it turned out okay.
How many takes did it take for you to get
Actually,
through it?
well, you do different angles, camera
Right.
angles. They change the camera angles, but I never once messed up my line. Not once. Not
Very
once.
good.
Yeah.
Mistake guy.
Pass the
We
LT.
like that.
Thank you. Appreciate
No
it.
pun intended on that. Well, okay, so now this is a kind of a weird transition, but everybody went to black church this week because of Aretha.
Yes.
We went,
Yes.
and literally you did because it was
Yes.
all day long. I mean,
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
all day.
Wow.
It was the entire day. And you watched all of it, and you were happy to watch all of it.
Yes.
But
Bless
has there
you.
ever been a greater hat in the history of headwear than Cicely Tyson? Sister Cicely.
Oh, that was, and she
American
did
treasure.
her thing.
American treasure.
She's an American treasure.
She is a god amongst mortals, and she wouldn't appreciate that because she's a woman of the word. But that hat,
is true.
That
Yes.
hat is not of this earth. It's not of this world, if you will.
Yeah.
It was
You don't-
very like
no ill
Chanel
word.
Spaceballs, if you will, like Chanel meets Spaceballs.
How does that work?
I mean, please tell me,
Oh
Lord
my
Helmet,
gosh,
like Lord,
yes,
you please tell me you've seen
yes.
Spaceballs with the giant
Yeah,
Vader
no,
helmet.
no.
Yes,
Yes, of course.
No,
That's a good
no
call by
disrespect.
you.
Sister Cicely was incredible.
She was incredible.
Always.
She was incredible.
And I'm not going to even say it, but I can't. I'm cherishing every day that she's with us.
Yeah.
Listen,
She,
I mean, she's sharp.
Yes.
When
How old
Aretha
is she right-
sings.
She's still acting. She's
Okay,
in her
so
90s.
according to Wikipedia, it says 93, but I thought I heard 91 during the introduction, so I can't be sure. But she's in her 90s and she's killing it.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
definitely.
she
in her
is.
And
90s,
she
yeah.
looks like she's
still
60.
acting. She's still in.
So,
Love her.
yes, she's in Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
She's in everything.
Forgiveness is for you. Okay,
Kind of
so
sound like her.
listen,
She did,
if I look half as good and I'm half as sharp as she is at 60, I'm winning. At 60, okay, and
Oh,
she's
at 60.
90.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
Yes.
dang.
Okay, so you mentioned New York. You played with my brother that wonderful, marvelous year with the Jets, which I miss very. I always say that's the best year of his career. Only it's obviously not the best statistical year, but you guys did.
Yeah.
You did have an amazing year with what we all now consider to be a subpar quarterback, which you don't have to co-sign, but. Look, Morgan, butt fumble.
I'll just shake, I'll just shake.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not here to walk you into anything.
We
but,
didn't know at the time, but
But the Giants have a different situation than they did last year. They've moved on from McAdoo or McAdon't. And
easy.
look, I didn't appreciate the way that they handled Eli Manning at the end of the year last year. I felt like it was disrespectful. And if you weren't going to put in Davis Webb, what the bleep are you doing? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But now they have Saquon and Odell's back, and they've fixed the offensive line in theory, and it's back on Eli. Do you feel like there's any pressure on the Giants this year, especially with Saquon?
I think there is pressure. I mean, because most people are looking at the Giants to make that turnaround, much like the Cowboys did a few years ago when
Right.
they got Ezekiel Elliott. Remember?
And Dak.
And Dak. You had
Right.
the offensive line. You had, the receivers. You had everything that you needed. And they made the run. They made the turnaround, won the division. And so I think a lot of people are looking at the Giants in the same way. Like you made this pick with Saquon to stabilize the offense. It's going to help Eli. You made picks on the offensive line, brought guys in. You got a great defense. What's holding you back at this point? Evan Ingram, is going to be a great addition. He should in his second year be so much better. So what's holding you back? They should be winning the division.
I mean, that's a tough division, though.
It is tough.
And I do agree with you. And I think a lot of it is because of Odell, because Odell got that huge contract. Do you think he deserved that contract?
I do.
Do you
I
worry,
think,
do you worry at all about Odell getting that contract, though?
I don't. I think a player's worth what he negotiates at the end of the day. You think about it, especially when guys like Odell and, Ty Gurley, you're worth what you can negotiate.
Yeah.
Because we all can sit and say, oh, I deserve more money. Everybody in the National Football League can say that.
Right.
But you deserve what you negotiate. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, now will Odell act right off the field? Will this change the way? I don't know. As he gets older, right, he probably is going to mature a little bit more. He's probably
already
not
locking
going to.
in.
Yeah, he's not going to party as much. But I'll ask you this question: who would you say in that division is more talented than the Giants?
Well,
is there a team more talented?
No.
So
I
see,
don't know.
that's
I
what
mean, the Eagles, the
was
Eagles
gonna
are
say.
still.
That's what I'm saying.
that Super Bowl hangover is going to be real. And outside
That's
of
the only
that,
thing. The only thing that worries
yeah.
me about the Eagles is how they're starting, because Carson Wentz is not back yet.
Right.
And not that I expected him to be back, but I know everyone's flipping out about how Nick Foles was declared the quarterback. No, he's the backup quarterback.
Right.
It shouldn't really be super surprising to anyone. But that's the only thing that worries me about the Eagles. But they're still the Eagles.
Yeah.
So if the Giants fall on a rough patch, or some major injury happens, that's more my concern with them.
Yeah.
Michael
But
Bennett
it's a big
is going to be
turnaround.
I mean, I'm ready to see a lot of people make a statement in Philly.
Yeah. Well, I
Still
think
a lot of things to prove.
we like to go down and check the boxes like when you compare teams, right?
Right.
And so if we did that, honestly, the only area where you can say the Eagles are better is if Carson Wentz is in the game,
Right.
quarterback situation is better, and defensive line. With Michael Bennett and those boys. That's the only place.
I mean,
receiver,
we're not giving
backfield,
anything to coaching at this point in time?
Coaching is huge. You're
mean,
right about that.
especially now with the Giants.
You're right. And coaching makes a difference in the playoffs.
Right.
Really, in regular season, it doesn't. It's all
Yeah.
about the players. But in the playoffs, when you need to make adjustments in game, that's where coaching comes into.
All right, so before we move on from New York, Sam Darnold is the starter. Speaking of quarterbacks being moved into the starting position, I feel like if you draft a rookie in the top 10 in the first round, he needs to be starting. That's why I think Baker Mayfield should be starting. I think Josh Rosen should be starting. I can take or leave with Josh Allen, but it's the Bills,
Right.
so
Yeah.
and I had no expectations of them anyway.
Right.
But Sam Darnold is the starter, and you were in New York. You were with the Jets. Obviously, they're completely different franchise now. But what do you expect from Sam Darnold this year?
Well, first, I got to disagree with you on top 10 starting.
Thank you.
Because here's
Thank
the
you.
issue.
Thank you.
You're not alone.
I mean, you look at Mark Sanchez. We talked about it a little bit before we started here.
Perfect example.
But if they would have just set Mark Sanchez and had Chad Pennington still there to groom Mark Sanchez,
I like Chad.
I think
Dolphins had
his
one great year in the last 30 with Chad Pennington.
But his career would have been better just learning from Chad Pennington. So I don't think you can play every quarterback, right away because it will hurt their career in the long term. He just wasn't ready, and he never progressed.
Those USC quarterbacks, I mean, I'm not saying it because I'm a Notre Dame guy, but those USC quarterbacks, they need time to sit. They're not ready to start. Carson Palmer had his time. To sit.
I do think, now, I would have loved to see, honestly, Teddy Bridgewater be the starter at the beginning of the season in New York and then bring in Sam a little bit later. But with that said, I think Sam is going to be a really good quarterback. He's already shown the poise and the maturity. Even at a young age, he's going to be the youngest starting quarterback ever for an organization.
So what's the difference between poise and maturity and not caring that you just threw an interception?
I think
because he does a lot of that.
Well, having the ability to forget about it.
Yeah.
What do coaches always tell you? Forget about the last play.
Yeah.
Forget about
memory.
the short memory.
Yeah.
And more than anybody, quarterbacks have to be that way.
Right.
And I think he kind of has the same mentality as Eli Manning. No matter what happens, what does Eli do? He's gonna always be like,
Yes.
he's just gonna always be like that. And Sam
Great
is
Eli face impersonation. Did we get that? 'Cause
always
that is
gonna-
perfect.
Sam is kind of the same way.
Yes.
Like when you look at Sam, sometimes it just looks like he's like, the stars are bright. And, it looks that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I think the difference is like that kind of body language, if you will, when you perform works. But if you're like Jay Cutler and you're like,
Right.
then you don't
While
want to see
throwing
that.
a ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, care, why don't you care?
Yeah, care a little bit. Just
Getting all kinds of money.
emote, if you will.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of people got paid. We mentioned Odell. Look, I want the Raiders to be good. Are they going to be good? I don't think so. They just got rid of Khalil Mack. It's inexplicable. Nobody understands what's going on with them with that situation. Now he's with the Bears. What are they thinking with Khalil Mack?
I had to sip on that
Yeah.
one.
I don't know. I don't think
You gotta
anybody
buy some
knows. Like,
time.
and then Gruden comes out and says like he didn't even really have that much of a say in the situation. And it's going to be the test of time whether that trade works. Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you got compensated for it, but how do you get rid of a player like that?
I think it's ridiculous, really. And honestly, because I'm a Charger, I'm happy with it
Right.
because he's not in the division no more. But I think it's appalling that, for one, he's the best player on your team, and you never once thought to pick up the phone to call this man to try to create some dialogue with him.
Right.
If that was Derek Carr, would that
No.
situation play out the same?
No.
Absolutely not. And so here it is. You're telling me that you haven't talked to this man, and then for him to come out and say, "Oh well, we weren't very good on defense with him."
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
When he said that, I was like, oh, he's gone.
Right.
I was like, he's gone.
yeah,
Right.
I
Because
think
you
he
going to
assumed
come
that he-
back and play for that?
Yeah.
Oh no, as a player you can't do
Fresh
that
out the
'cause you
booth,
just
on the
disrespecting
sideline?
me.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
And see, like sometimes when coaches been away for a while and they come back, they think it's all about them, right? They think, oh, I'm gonna change it around. You need players to win. You guys know that. And I think they're in for a rude awakening.
And someone else that's holding out is Le'Veon, which I don't have any idea what the Steelers are doing there. I just don't. I don't know how you replace someone like Le'Veon Bell either. But do you think that it's smart for Le'Veon to sit out the way that he is?
Well, I think Le'Veon is trying to prove a point, and he's doing what he needs to do in order to prove that point to the Steelers. And I'm disappointed that the GM came out and said, I'm disappointed that he's not here. Well, I'm disappointed you haven't signed this man in 2 years.
Right.
He did everything
Like
you asked him to do.
that's actually your job.
Yeah.
Right. It's your job. But not only that, you drafted him. So most of the time when you draft a player, you hope that they develop these guys and keep them for the long term. You develop the guy, now you're trying to put all these carries on him and then get rid of him. Like, that's what you're trying to do. It's just unfair what they're doing to Le'Veon.
Yeah, I need them to fix that situation because I picked the Steelers to win the Super Bowl this year, so I feel like that's not going to happen.
And they're going to lose
if
the
Le'Veon is
Browns
there.
week 1. I said they were going to steal. The Browns are going to steal one from the Steelers. It's shaping up. It's going to be week 1.
Ooh.
You know what? For content's sake, I hope that you're right.
Yeah.
But that's
Imagine
not,
that.
Yeah, but it's not going to
That'd be
happen.
No, it's going to happen.
So you mentioned your Chargers. They're interesting this year.
Best team in the AFC.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Brandon's opinion. But what is your opinion of the Chargers this year? Because that division is very interesting for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think this is the year to do it. I mean, when you look at the division, a lot of turnover in the division for every team.
Right.
Pretty much except for the Chargers, right? And so when you look at the Chargers with the depth that they have, I mean, you have the best quarterback in the division. You have possibly the best defense, arguably the best defense. Denver is there, but I think we're set apart from the rest of the guys in that division, skill position. I'm telling you, Mike Williams this year with Keenan Allen, that's going to be a scary combination. Those two together, I mean, Phillip Rivers is going to work some magic with that. All we need is to get the run game going just a little bit more with Melvin Gordon. But here's the issue. I wouldn't say issue, but here's the great thing. Mike Pouncey is for to make a huge difference along the offensive line.
I like that offensive line talk. You got
absolutely,
to.
man. He's going to make a huge difference.
Difference maker.
So on paper, we have everything that we need.
Ah,
Right.
Yeah.
On paper,
Yeah.
right. On
Yeah.
paper. You
Yeah,
got
on
to
paper,
go out and
y'all
do
was
it.
good last
You got to
year,
go.
too.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Except for
a couple
kicker.
situations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, kicker
Little
hurt.
problems with the position that everybody gives a hard time to. Did you hate kickers? Everybody hates kickers.
I didn't hate kickers,
But like during training camp when they're over there chilling on the golf cart.
I was so jealous. I was so jealous.
I was like, I got to get a kid and make them be a kicker so they can enjoy football.
Right.
Because they're the only people.
You have
the only
that,
ones.
so you're pregnant? Yay! Congratulations!
Look, I'm a man of the Lord. I'm always praying that I'm gonna get a seed, and you always
He's getting married
trying to
soon,
reveal.
so every time he
reveal
talks
that
about children,
She's
I
she's
feel
not,
like
no,
this
she's
is
not
the
pregnant.
this is
She's
the
not pregnant.
reveal.
Got to pull the goalie.
Oh God.
Not yet.
Just a few more months, all right,
Yes,
and then
of
we'll get into the kicking situation. I feel bad for kickers though, because they get
Why?
because it always comes down to look what we said. Like it comes down to you. You gotta kick it. You gotta make it.
But then
Yeah,
you get a
but-
great one, like Justin Tucker. I played an All-American game with him. Steve-O, Baltimore Ravens, change the franchise. A good kicker change the franchise. And you get an old kicker, that's like finding a holographic Pokemon card. It's like Drew Stanton, just some old kickers.
But all
It's
they
a
do is
treasure.
quick kick there in practice. I mean, they haven't made. They're over there by themselves,
Grass
just kicking
field.
field goals. And you mean to tell me all that kicking field goals that you do, how come you can't just walk out there on the field
And just do it?
kick
The
out,
battery.
dude?
The snapper holder.
It's
a
mental.
lot of
Yeah,
things
there's like
in
the
it,
winds. There's things
yeah.
involved. Weather.
Oh,
Emotions.
I guess
Pressure.
like hitting a golf shot. You're right.
Yeah. No, I'm
I wouldn't have to. How do they hit the goalpost so many times? It's physically impossible. The science of them hitting the goalpost is crazy. They do it all the time. There's so much space
Right.
around all
Right.
of it, and they just hit the goalpost every
goalpost.
time.
What do you miss like the least about playing? Like everyone always says like, oh, I miss the locker room, I miss the guys. Like what's the one thing that like every year when football season kicks off that you're like, man, I do not miss doing that?
Training camp. I mean, it's just because it's such a grind and it's not fun at all. Especially the first few days you back in those pads, you put the helmet on. It's hot and muggy and And I wore the visor, so
Yes.
I
Yes,
didn't.
you
I didn't
did.
really get no air coming in that helmet.
I mean, why didn't you just not wear the visor during training camp?
You want him to not wear the visor? You want LT not to wear the visor, Joy? You want to go be on paper, on wax saying that?
I mean, it was just a suggestion. If it's
Okay,
hot,
well, I'm
was
saying
just-
that
I can't
slow
do,
down.
I can't do
part of
that.
the persona.
I don't like being uncomfortable. Yeah, you kind of gotta keep it. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
it's right.
it's the look. Yeah.
of course.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us. Where can people watch the movie?
Yeah, so September 7th, they'll be in theaters all across the country. God bless the broken road.
Beautiful.
All across the country.
What is your
September 7th.
name in the movie?
Pastor Williams.
Pastor
Pastor
Williams
Williams,
in
amen.
Kentucky. What part of Kentucky?
We don't know
I
that.
don't know.
It's
we
just
don't
in
know.
Kentucky.
Just in Kentucky.
Well, because he's a Kentucky
Yeah,
person.
Dirk Bentley's actually my favorite country song. They sing my favorite country song.
Which is
Okay.
what?
What was I thinking?
Sing it.
Becky was a beauty from South Alabama. Her daddy had a heart like a 9-pound
Oh,
hammer.
what was I
Yes,
thinking?
yes,
Yeah, I remember that. I know that song.
I
Yeah,
got you.
I like
Come on
country
now.
music.
Come on now, don't make me flex.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Don't make me flex.
All right.
Country.
Well, I will make you sing more country later. Anyway, so check that out. Thank you so much for joining us again. We'll have you on again soon, hopefully.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
With it or quit it. With it, quit it.
What?
We about to turn up in this bitch.
All right. When am I winning or quitting today?
All right. On Monday, Colin Kaepernick was revealed as the face of the 30th anniversary of Nike's Just Do It campaign. After being effectively blackballed out of the NFL in 2016, Kaepernick has sacrificed his employment and millions of dollars to protest against police brutality in America. And don't forget, Nike inked a contract extension in March, providing NFL with uniforms and sideline apparel until 2028. Joy, Nike's investment in Kaepernick is great for their brand. With it or quit it.
I'm going to wit it.
Okay, yes, that's the right
And
thing to
there
do.
are going to be some people that push back.
Yes.
I demanded an all Nike room today.
She did. I put on the.
You know, Donnie's for the culture. Donnie's got
I like at the visor. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
okay, all right.
Shouts
Ashley
out.
is Jeremy. I didn't tell you.
Demand
Ariana.
an all Nike room.
That's fine. Oh, okay. Okay.
Jesus
Ariana's
Louises.
just wearing it in her heart. That's what's important.
Nike.
Are you wearing Nike shoes?
Yes, Kyrie's. Look at
Well, actually,
these.
Ariana's just
Dirty knees.
Ariana's the only one who actually dresses like she's going to work.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. I try to
The rest
every
of
other
us
day
gotta
but
just
Tuesday.
show up in sweatpants, like we work here. So
I haven't got the sweatpants yet, but they coming next week.
yeah. Anyway, so I decided to wear my Nike spacesuit today to just be extra, and my gold Hirachis, so you can eat
Yes.
it with that.
Yes.
But here's the thing: look, I've always been a Nike person because I'm an athlete. For real.
I mean,
And just recently, if you didn't play indoor soccer, then you didn't wear Adidas. I love Adidas now. I wear Adidas actually probably more than I wear.
I do. I mean, I like Adidas. Adidas try to capitalize on the rappers and stuff, but Nike just makes a better cleat for the people that are performing on
I
football,
play basketball and and
basketball,
cleats,
the
for
things,
the
equipment's
track.
good, and it's an American-based company, which is why I like it.
Okay.
Versus Adidas.
Right.
And
Well,
Puma
now
and all
people
this
would
other stuff. Yeah.
people would try to disagree with you. You're doing a lot of the sweating today. It's very warm in here.
It's
Just
hot.
to-
That rapping Lil Wayne before this.
Yes, and
got
also,
me.
you have to calm down with doing all that stuff before the show. It gets you
ma'am.
going. But you're wearing Under Armour only because you're representing Notre Dame. That's not your fault.
Yes.
Today, because you obviously have a Ball State hat on, which
Yes.
you can't decide. So anyway, the point is Nike's going to do fine.
Yes.
For lots of reasons. We'll get to Kaepernick in a second. First of all, Nike is worth $34.5 billion. That's with the B, not the M, the B. $34.5 billion, and
Can't wrap my mind around that.
half, 50%, for those of you doing the counting, 50% is half of their
Yes.
sales are international. And I know this is very difficult for us as Americans to understand that there's any other place in the world except for the United
Talk
States.
to him, Joy.
Being an American, I understand.
forget a lot.
It's a thing that we do. We just
Yeah.
tend to forget that there's other people in the world.
Right.
And
It's like a storybook if I hear about it. It's like,
Right.
oh, they did that in the magical land.
That's a place
Oh,
somewhere
that's
else.
cool.
I didn't know that there's people there.
I hope those people are okay.
Right. So the thing is, those people don't care
insensitive.
about our flag. They don't
Right.
care about our anthem. They don't care about our president. They don't care about anything that goes on in America because they don't live here.
Right.
So they're not offended by what Kaepernick does because
Nope.
they don't care about our country. And 50% of Nike's sales are those people. So just so you all know, the ones that are offended, that ain't changing. Not this much, not even a little bit.
Nope.
There will be no blip from the international sales that Nike gets.
No.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not even a thing they thought about. Also, I'm gonna venture to guess this $1 billion company worth $34.5 billion,
Yes.
maybe had a meeting about the most controversial athlete in
Right.
existence in our time.
They had a list of pros and cons.
Right now. I'm
Right.
sure they had brainstorming, if you will. Like, perhaps we may get some pushback from half the country
Right.
if we do this.
What are the
okay?
sales that we might lose?
And they
possibly?
decided, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're going to be all right. They're going to be fine.
be
Okay.
all right.
And the reason that they're going to be all right is because these people that had Nikes that then decided to burn them had already purchased the Nikes. So Nike already has your monies. They've already got it. Just because you burn it into the atmosphere, which by
Right.
the way, I don't think is very good.
Not good for us. Protect us, please.
You're not getting your money back.
No.
Nike's not giving you the $15 you spent on those Air Monarchs, okay? So just
Don't
relax.
come
all right.
for the Monarchs.
Cutting your Nike off your shorts. Like, I understand you're upset and you're bothered.
Right.
And here's the thing. I don't want to be dismissive of people's feelings, okay? Like, whatever your beliefs are about
Right.
what you believe in,
Why
and you
you do
feel
the
like
things
you're
you do.
making a statement, however silly it may be, okay?
Yes.
Because that's the world we live in. If you got to pick sides. I've
Right.
made it very clear which side I'm on, okay?
Yes.
I think I made it obvious. So I don't need to continue to explain that.
Right.
But here's my point. This is what always gets lost in this situation, all right? This is not about the anthem. It's not about the military. It's not about the NFL even. It actually has nothing to do with the NFL. You know what it is? It's Kaepernick protesting the murders of black people by bad cops. Please take a note of every word that I use in that statement. Not cops. It's not a protest of cops.
Nope.
Policemen, policewomen, if
Law
you will.
enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Yeah.
Bad cops. There are bad doctors.
The ones doing the shoot,
And
shoot,
you know
bang,
what we
bang.
do? You know what we do with them?
What we doing?
We get rid of them
Yes.
because they can cost lives.
And he's protesting because it seems to be harder to get rid of the ones that are doing the killing of the black people.
Right. I would like to remind everyone that's what this is all about.
Yes.
I don't know how many times the military has to come out and say, guess what? We, not all,
Yes.
obviously,
Yeah.
not all, but many, many, many military members have said, please stop politicizing us with Kaepernick because we actually fought so that everyone can have the freedom to protest so that we live in a free country. I'm obviously not speaking for all military members. I'm aware they all feel that way.
Right.
Okay. And just before everyone starts getting in the YouTube comments, I come from a military family. I have USAA insurance. Okay. So like,
Woo! USAA.
I'm
Michelle
gonna say I have
can't
the
wait
best
to
ins-
marry
I have the
into
best
that.
insurance available.
Yes,
okay?
as do I, as
I'm
do
a
I.
very, very, very military family.
Yes.
My grandfather was in the Army for 30 years. He's command sergeant major. Okay. My other grandfather was in the Army. My cousin is still in the Army. My sister's active duty Air Force. So just, okay, relax. All right. I'm not speaking for any of them. I'm just
No.
saying the military is something that is important to me.
Well,
okay?
let me just, because my dad was a Marine and he works in South Carolina with veterans in South Carolina. He runs a nonprofit for that, and he has a text group thread. I was texting this morning. He said he texts all 50 of the people in his group, and he said the majority of them like that Kaepernick is the face of the Just Do It campaign. Some people wish that things were done differently, but also they all remember that Kaepernick started kneeling because a former Marine, Nate Boyer, told him to.
Facts,
or suggested
people.
that might be nicer to respect the people who did serve the country. So
I just would like for people.
Put on wax.
I would like for people in this situation to be bothered with facts. So let's review
Yes.
the facts again. Okay, Nike, $34.5 billion. Probably had a few meetings about whether this campaign was a good idea or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, A. B, 50% of the sales are international. People, just for anyone in America who doesn't understand what that means. And I don't even want to say America because that's not even accurate. The United States of America.
Yes.
Because North America is actually bigger than just the United States. I know it's bothered with facts, but that's what we're doing here.
Yes.
Fact time.
Shouts out to
okay?
Canada.
50% of those people buy Nike. So they don't care about this controversy at all. It does
all.
not affect them. They don't care. Kaepernick was in the top 50 of jersey sales in 2017, and he did not play in 2017, just for anyone keeping track. Again, we're doing the facts thing here. He hasn't played since January 1st, 2017. In that season that he played, he had comparable numbers to a Tyrod Taylor, who will be a starting quarterback this year for the Cleveland Browns, and Andy Dalton, who has been a starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. Whatever you
both-
think of the Bengals, they're still an NFL
They both look
NFL
pretty good
franchise.
right now.
So they're both starting quarterbacks. So if you can just look bothered, I'm not going to go through all the numbers, but they're basically the same. So for everyone out there who's saying that Kaepernick is not good enough to be in the NFL, by the way, still involved in a collusion case with the NFL. The
Got to go
NFL
ahead.
and Nike have a contract, as Brandon mentioned, through to 2028. So
Hey, what you gonna do?
you're not going to do anything.
you gonna
And
do?
if you're burning and cutting up your clothes, not only are you getting rid of clothing that you could use,
Right.
because you've paid for it, and Nike is not giving you your money back.
Yeah.
You're actually kind of contradicting yourself, because if you're doing it to protest veterans, we don't really have the best system for our veterans that have sacrificed a lot for our country. You could probably just donate it. And even if you don't really care about the veterans and this is fake outrage, you can just donate to people that need clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it to somebody.
So while you're so outraged that you can't even control yourself, that you're setting your own clothing on fire, you may want to think it through principle wise what you're doing. And the bigger point of all of this is that everyone's bothered by is like Nike is this corporation and they're using Kaepernick. Maybe, but there's always some element to everything that is not real, right? Like, I'm a cynic. That's just the way it is. Okay. However, Nike never dropped him. Nike never dropped Tiger.
That's true.
Nike never dropped Kobe.
That's true.
Because Nike's about that life.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just didn't put him out there.
It doesn't matter, because now they are. Now they are. Okay. And I don't even want to put Kaepernick in the same conversation as Kobe and Tiger.
No, you can't.
I'm not.
No, you can't.
But I'm saying if we're controversial
We're
figures.
talking money. All right,
okay,
we're talking what Nike does with their money.
Right.
It's a part of it. And also, what doesn't sit well with me, Nike, as much as I want to praise Nike for what they did for the culture, and I do, and I'm so happy that they're funding a social activist, former athlete right now, they're really going to roulette and betting on black and betting on red.
You know what they always say.
They're betting on red and black. They got a lot of money tied up in conservative things with the NFL as well.
Nike is going to be fine.
I know. They're
not that
covering
I
their
was ever
bases.
concerned for the welfare of Nike,
Yes.
because I'm not.
Right.
They're going to be fine.
They got
and
Michael
don't
Jordan.
tell me that Colin Kaepernick is a sellout. He has
come on now.
earned his fame before pre-protest, and he has every right to make money, and he's not using the cause to make money. He's the one that sacrificed his career for this.
Yeah.
So if he's going to make, and he never stopped making money off Nike, by the way, and the only reason why he's in the Nike conversation is because he was a starting NFL quarterback that played, it was one throw away from winning the Super Bowl.
Shout out to the Ravens.
Facts only around here, right?
Yeah.
Facts only today.
And he needs that money. That product in his hair looks expensive.
Well, he's wearing it large.
You got to keep it up.
And the NFL released a statement today. The National Football League believes in dialogue, understanding, and unity. We embrace the role and responsibility of everyone involved with this game to promote meaningful, positive change in our communities. The social justice issues that Colin and other professional athletes have raised deserve our attention and action. And that is from Jocelyn Moore, the NFL's Executive Vice President of Communications and Public Affairs. So, I mean, look, to me, that this reads a couple different ways. One, you can take it as like a nice thing that they said, that they support the players. But to me, it's more of, okay, Nike is our partner through 2028. We don't want no smoke.
Yeah, like it's interesting that they're put in a position that they're trying to put players in the sense of like not upsetting the people who's paying the money.
Because we still don't have an answer on what the actual anthem rules are going to be.
Still on hold
for this year.
Games on Thursday.
Even though particular teams have said this is you're going to be suspended if you do this, or if you stay in the locker room or whatever. But look, it's a nice statement, like basically saying that they support the players, but we'll see. It's not a divisive statement, which is good. Like, they're not going to come out and condemn the ad, because they really can't.
But to say that they support the players now, was it the 30th anniversary plan for the NFL to just start to decide to support the players too? Because they haven't been doing it up until this point.
I don't know, but that's the statement from the NFL. So
take that as you will.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, moving on. 8 players make more money in the NFL than Bears' new linebacker Khalil Mack. All 8 of those players are quarterbacks, 4 of which Mack will see this season. A few days before Mack got paid, Aaron Donald inked a huge contract extension with the Rams that included $40 million of a signing bonus and $87 million guaranteed money. Defensive players are finally getting the bag. Joy, elite pass rushers should be paid like quarterbacks. Wit it or quit it.
I will wit this because
you come from
I come from a defensive family.
Yes.
With an elite pass rusher.
Yes.
Who I'm sure is very supportive of these guys making the money that they're making. And the reason for that is because if you have an elite pass rusher, I mean, look at Lawrence Taylor. Like, literally changed the league forever.
Left tackles, get him in here.
Okay,
Blindside.
exactly. He made other people rich.
Right.
Okay, that he's never even met before because he made that position so influential. So, yes, of course I support this. That changes how you game plan. It changes everything about the way that you set up your team based off of if you have someone like that in the lineup going against you every week. So, yeah, of course. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. Like, I really truly don't. Like, this first of all, Aaron Donald deserved all that money, and I always felt like he was going to get paid because the Rams have a separate bank that they use from the rest of the NFL.
It's the LA bank.
Well, what it is they haven't paid Jared Goff yet, so they have a ton of flexibility.
Yes.
He's making pennies.
And that's why Super Bowl or bust right now.
Yes, for sure.
Get that
for sure,
money
they
now.
have very high expectations.
Yeah,
because they have a ton of names on their team, and they should have those expectations. Maybe that's not entirely fair to Jared Goff, but hey, this is what you're here for. You're here to win. So, Khalil Mack deserves that money as well, and he's looking at the contract that the Bears gave him. It honestly makes the Raiders look even more incompetent.
Yeah,
because the way that they were selling it was like he was asking for $250 million, 110 guaranteed. Like his contract is barely over what Aaron Donald is making. So what are you trying to say here? I don't get it. He was 2016 Defensive Player of the Year, and in the last 3 seasons, the Bears hadn't had a player with more than 8.5 sacks. Mack has had 10.5, 11, and 15 in his last 3 seasons. You think he's not going to be a difference maker?
Come on,
it's insane. And what are how do the Raiders replace him? Like you mentioned earlier, Gruden talking about so we were not good on defense last year. Are you gonna be better? Are you better now?
I mean, Gruden, I don't mind it because Gruden is deciding to build his team off of these phantom players that are in college football right now. He didn't want Khalil Mack. He didn't want to run a defensive team led by someone who's an edge rusher for whatever reason. Clearly, that has to be a decision, right? So, like, I can't be mad at bad decisions when I already knew John Gruden. I've been skeptical of John Gruden being the head coach of the Raiders ever since he left Monday Night Football. So I can expect moves like this to be made, like the large, idiotic moves like this to be made. Seismic, idiotic moves, right? It's unheard of.
I don't understand. Everyone is befuddled by this decision. But in a weird way, you kind of felt like once the trade rumors were out there that it was going to happen, even though everyone was like, yeah, there's trade rumors out there, but there's no fucking way you can actually trade Khalil Mack. Like, there's just like probably some teams like, yo, we will give you things for Khalil Mack. But you're just like, maybe we'll do this, but actually we're not really going to trade Khalil Mack. But and then they traded Khalil Mack.
It's like they had a level of dysfunction that wasn't there right before the season. It's like, gosh, guys, what can we do? How
can we make our team worse before this season?
Yeah, we need
like it's not a big deal.
Fail.
Raiders, they're moving out of the city. We've just paid this coach $100 million.
Our last year in Oakland.
Yeah. What should we do?
How do we get people in Vegas excited about our move?
Let's get rid of Khalil Mack and get some draft picks that could be complete busts.
Oh, complete bust.
Complete bust. Right? That's a good idea. Let's do that.
And Gruden like praising, he's like, they gave him a good contract. What can you say? It's like, what? That was your best player on the team.
That makes me almost feel like it's not that wasn't Gruden's decision, despite all the nonsense that Gruden say about it.
It may not be his decision.
I mean, look, like we all think in our minds that coaches make all these decisions and they don't. There are front office people that have way more influence than coaches. Right. Most organizations in most sports.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Sure, like that's just how it works. Just front office people will usually make those moves. So, look, like it could not be on Gruden, but unfortunately, when you make $100 million, even though you say you don't make $100 million, which I don't even know what that means,
Tom
you make
Cruise
$100
movies aren't
million.
good.
Everyone been reporting this wrong. I don't understand. Yeah, Tom Cruise movies, $100 million, Raiders. I don't know what any of the correlation is, but when you allegedly make $100 million and you come out of retirement after 10 years and your name is John Gruden, your name is on this trade. So that's what it is.
First big move. It's crazy. We'll see what happens. Sam Darnold will be the youngest player to start in a season opener at quarterback since the 1970 merger. Other interesting Week 1 starters include Nathan Peterman for the Bills, Nick Foles for the Eagles, and Nick Saban waited until Week 2 to name Tua Hawaiian Punch Tagovailoa Davis over junior Jalen Hurts. What? Did I say it wrong? How do you say it?
Go on.
Joy, quarterback indecision never ends well. Wit it or quit it.
No, I'll quit that. I wouldn't say that quarterback indecision never ends well. Like, I mean, Bill O'Brien, remember that time that he, decided to start Tom Savage because he just needed one more half to decide about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
and then he put
but
Deshaun Watson, and it turned out to be a good thing. So in general, I like when, you know, if it's a rookie situation like that, like just declare the rookie the starter. So congrats to the Jets for figuring out that Sam Darnold was going to be your day one starter. Like, shocker.
Yes.
It's important though, and the reason we ask about it is because the quarterback's the most important position on the field. So obviously Nick Saban, who's a notorious grump. All right, he's just a grump.
Big grump.
He had
Colin
a
thinks he's
meltdown with Maria Taylor, which obviously went everywhere, basically like condemning her for daring to ask the great Nick Saban about who's going to be the starting quarterback about the number one team in NCAA football. It's just groundbreaking, really.
I mean, right after the game, I thought there was other times that she could have asked about it.
No, it's not. That's her job. That's her job. And that's what everyone wants to know. And it's a quarterback position, and it's Alabama. So if you don't like it, you have the wrong job. Sorry. Yeah. And, like, that's kind of my point, because Doug Peterson then just very quickly announced that Nick Foles is going to be the starter, which is going to be a question. Guess what? You're the defending Super Bowl champs, and Carson Wentz was basically the MVP last year.
Yeah.
So, people want to know who the the starter is. It's a fair question. Sure. And yes, you're going to get asked that damn question every single day until you announce who the the starter is.
Yeah.
And you knew he wasn't going to be clear. So why didn't you just say it? And like, even when they announced Nick Foles as a starter, I'm like, oh, yeah, of course Nick Foles is a starter.
Yeah, of course.
Carson Wentz blew his knee out. Like, yes, he's probably not going to be ready for week 1. Like, we were hoping he's not. Okay, he's not ready. He's not cleared for contact. That means he's not the starter. It's not some controversy. It's not like Nick Foles is going to dethrone the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody actually believes that. Yes. He's just not ready. Yeah. So just say he's not ready. That's it. That's all we need to know. And as far as the Bills go, whew, I mean, wow.
Nate Pete's not. Nate Pete's,
no disrespect to Nathan Peterman, but I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Nate Pete's gonna be okay.
Okay.
He's not gonna be bad. He's gonna be like Jacoby Brissett ceiling style quarterback. He's gonna be good. He's not gonna be terrible. That was a tough first outing.
Yeah.
It's a real historically bad.
Yeah.
First outing.
We are not our worst moments, okay? But let's I'm gonna hold back judgment on how great Nathan Peterman is gonna be. Yeah. But what this really tells you is Josh Allen is not good.
It does not tell you that Josh Allen's not good.
Right now he's not.
It tells you that Josh Allen needs to beat out someone who has a higher ceiling right now for this season, Nate Pete.
What'd you say about that historically bad first outing?
Yeah, it was historically bad.
Anyway, there's
he shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Tyrod Taylor should have been out there.
Correct. You're right about that. Yeah. So there's a lot of like quarterback talk this weekend about who's just announce who the quarterback is going to be. Like, this has always been my thing. It was the same thing with Bill O'Brien and Tom Savage. Just Sean Watson is your quarterback. What can you possibly expect from Tom Savage? He's your quarterback. It's the same thing I've been preaching all year. Okay, and I've given up. All right, I know that Tyrod Taylor Tyrod is going to be the starter of the Browns. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. All right, but the point is, announce who your quarterback is. I believe that not only does it help you when you're dealing with the media, so you don't have to have a meltdown like Nick Saban or Doug Peterson. You don't have to flip out. But it also just sets the tone for the year. Like, this is the guy. And when something changes, it'll change. And guess what? I'm the coach. I decide.
Yeah, but it also sets a tone for the team. Like, the team wants to know that the coach has the team's best interest at heart. And if the team feels like that they're making political moves and just rolling out a rookie when Nate Pete might be the best chance to win the first 4 games.
It's what I don't like about how Hugh Jackson is handling it. Like, he has been strong about, like, Tyrod's the starter from the beginning. He's been very consistent about that.
For sure.
However, he's not been transparent about what the situation is with Baker Mayfield. Like, he's like, Tyrod's a starter. Okay, but when will Baker be the starter?
And we all see Baker making plays.
Right.
Yeah.
And we remember the last thing that we saw from Baker. So and he's the number 1 overall pick. So that's the one thing I feel like he's not handling is like, yeah, he is the number 1 overall pick though. So what the are you going to do with him? But he has been consistent about him starting. But just say who your starter is and roll with it. There's no need to have like why are you asking me about the quarterback? What are we supposed to ask you? Like, what you had for lunch today?
It was right after a win. It's like, how did you guys defeat Louisville without Lamar Jackson? I don't know. Something about it.
It's the right question. It's the right. It's what everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
All right, time for Lit List.
It's lit. At the light show. Ooh.
Okay, so you correctly
Yes.
predicted
Yes.
that Notre Dame would serve up an L to Michigan
Yes.
this weekend.
I did.
You were right, so you get
Yes.
props for that. Notre
Thank you
Dame
so much.
laid the wood on Michigan
Yeah.
this weekend,
Yeah.
and that's not a good thing for college football, if you ask me. Because look, no disrespect to Notre Dame, but Michigan
All the
has
disrespect.
got a bigger name. All right, Jim
Whoa,
Harbaugh.
whoa, whoa,
Jim
whoa,
Harbaugh, a lot of
whoa,
pressure, a lot of eyeballs on Michigan. So
whoa.
I root for content. Notre Dame.
Michigan's a bigger name than Notre Dame in college football. That's the hottest take you ever said.
No.
What?
I said this year.
This
all right,
year.
Michigan has a hotter name attached to it, which is Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has crazy expectations, and nobody expected anything from Notre Dame this year, unless I missed something. They
Oh,
ranked 12th.
they were just accidentally ranked over Michigan?
No, Michigan obviously deserved to be ranked where they are. They got whooped on.
Okay, so how can they not expect something from Notre Dame
Hey,
when they're
look.
over the
Let
Michigan
me get
team?
this straight, okay? Let me get this straight.
I'm trying to
you
add it up.
think more people are paying attention to Notre Dame this year than they are to Michigan? Again, no disrespect to Notre Dame, but let's be fucking serious.
Every year, I think
We
that's
work
the
in the
case.
content business.
Every year, I think that's the case.
He says that as he wears a Ball State visor. So
Because
let's just
we
keep
got
this
Ball
all
State
in
this weekend,
perspective.
and Ball State, and we as Ball State got Notre Dame this weekend. It's a big game for both of us.
All right, Mr. Gemini.
Yes.
Which who you picking?
We're picking. What do you mean picking?
Who you got?
It's tangled loyalties. It's tangled loyalties. Shouts out to Karen Heisler, one of my professors at Notre Dame. The football program reached out to her to write a story about me that's going to be in the Notre Dame Ball State football programs this weekend.
Oh, how fun!
So if you guys are going to the game, DM me, show me that you have the program, and I'll send you an address. It's not going to be my home one, but
Look at
I
my
need
famous
to go.
friend.
Yeah,
That's
I
very
did
exciting.
some things. I did
That's
some
very
things.
good of you to self-promote. Keep
Yes,
doing that.
thank you
That's
so
very
much.
smart.
I gotta try to.
Did you mention the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast in it?
Yes, it is mentioned in it. Yes.
Hey, there we go.
Very popular.
Otherwise, we were
Very
cutting all this
popular.
out, and there was no ad for you.
No, but I was saying, no, obviously Notre Dame is big. I actually do have some different loyalties. Obviously, the coach that got me to Ball State isn't there anymore. And as a college football player, former college football player, I don't know if you know this, but if a former coach isn't there anymore, you kind of lose your ties. It's not as strong, right? Brian Kelly's still there. Tommy Reese is the quarterback coach. Tyler Plants, Nick Lazinski. There's a bunch of guys out there getting the guys ready. And I don't know. It's Notre Dame gave me my family a lot of smiles, put me through some hard times that I got through. I was better after it.
Yeah,
Good
and you have a
antidote.
ridiculous tattoo because of them.
Oh my God! How dare you bring up that tattoo?
Do you have a leprechaun?
It's the only reason I stayed. I needed the tattue kept me there.
Here's some
Those
advice.
rough times.
Don't get a tattoo.
That's
doesn't make
fine.
any sense.
I'm
Doesn't
glad
make
it
any
kept me
sense.
there. I'm glad it kept me there.
Anyway, the point is Michigan. Whew, that's bad.
It's going downhill. And now Notre Dame is in a position to set themselves up to get their very first college football bid ever. It's time. We have a weak schedule, the weakest schedule we've had since the college football playoff started. We got, Ball State, I love you guys, but I love us, but it's just not going to happen this weekend.
So you finally picked it. It took you 5 minutes to get to it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to lay out now.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations to you and to Notre Dame, even though I
Yes.
think that Michigan is more relevant, but it's fine. Okay. I'm just talking about content. They're obviously the better team.
Hot take.
Obviously the better team. It's not that hot of a take. It's just reality. We talked about, guess what we talked about on the herd today? Do you think we talked about Notre Dame? Or did we talk about
Colin is
Jim
protecting
Harbaugh?
his allegiance to John
He doesn't
Harbaugh.
have any allegiance to Jim Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh, and he has allegiance to talk about John Harbaugh and his failings at Michigan. I don't know why. I haven't seen his contract.
What?
I haven't seen Colin's contract.
Okay. Yeah, that's nonsense. All right. So next on the list, LeBron James. I'm very interested to see what you think about this. LeBron James will receive a Fashion Icon Award at the upcoming New York Fashion Week.
Yes.
I would like to attend New York Fashion Week. I've never had the opportunity
Eventually,
to do so.
yes, got to.
I feel like with the upgrade of my kick game that I should be invited.
Yes. You started the build.
Yeah, thank you. Via Earl. Anyway, so now look, like he had those shorts. He wore those Lakers shorts, which sold out in like 35 seconds.
Yes.
And it's LeBron's been going the Westbrook route with the different outfits showing up to the games.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Obviously it's
Fashion
not just a
forward.
Westbrook thing. Like the whole NBA does that. But
Right.
do you think he deserves a Fashion Icon Award? Has Westbrook ever won this award?
There's no way. Listen, New York Fashion Week's a thing. LeBron just elevated himself to a whole other level by
True.
being with the Lakers. Dapper Dan and the Harlem section of this New York, they have a little thing for the black people. Obviously, LeBron's going, give him an award. Give LeBron an award. It's fashion, because why not? He's in LA. He left Cleveland. These are the random things that are going to come James's way just because he's in LA.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree with that. But I do think that he is very influential when it comes to fashion because he's LeBron James.
Yeah.
People pay attention to what he wears. So congrats to LeBron on another award.
Another award.
Yeah. Some kind of Jordan though. Anyway, also, speaking of the Lakers, this is a very underrated story this weekend. So Luol Deng had the worst contract in the history of the NBA. Agreed to give up $7.5 million, yes, of the $36.8 million owed to him. Just let that marinate for a second.
When was he ever that good to get that?
He was up at the right time. They had a lot of money, and he got the bag.
Yeah.
So anyway, with the waive and stretch provision, they've now cleared $38.2 million have the Lakers in salary cap space for 2019. So as I predicted, the Lakers aren't going to win this year. They're going to win next year.
Right.
Because look, they can get Kevin Durant. His starting max salary is $38.2 million exactly. That's exactly the cap space they have. Don't think Kevin Durant won't leave. I don't like upset all the Warriors fans out there, okay? But this thing is not going to go on forever.
Okay.
All right? Kevin Durant.
Yes.
All right. Kawhi.
I'll say let's get Kawhi.
Kyrie. Klay Thompson, which we have already discussed is a major possibility.
Yes.
Karl Anthony Towns, Kemba Walker. There are a lot of players up. Like 2019 free agency is going to be insane.
Yes, but the last thing we need is someone like listen to me. Someone like Karl Anthony Towns, who's like obviously is great, but we don't know. Remember when the Lakers signed Dwight Howard? That was great. Look, that was a big signing.
I don't think that's going to be the move that they make. I'm just saying this is low key humongous, and it flew under the radar this weekend with all college football and NFL, obviously, but. Lakers are going to have hella money to spend next year, and they're going to get a major free agent. And
whatever they want.
Then they're going to win the championship because that's what LeBron does in his second year in places. So,
dang, well said.
Yep. Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. These are the losers of the week. All right, people who think that they're clowning are losers this week. Jeffrey Owens. If you don't know who Jeffrey Owens is, he was an actor from The Cosby Show.
Yes.
He played Elvin Thibodeau for 5 seasons.
Yes.
He is also the son of a former U.S. congressman, and he graduated cum laude from Yale. So he has quite the little, resume, if you will. However, this weekend, he was job shamed. So someone took a picture of him while he was working at Trader Joe's, which I happen to love.
Yes.
Great. Trader Joe's has such great Trader Joe's brand items.
I mean, well, that's the problem. It's
Trader Joe's orange chicken.
No.
Right? Trader Joe's turkey meatballs. Fire.
Yes.
Trader Joe's artichoke dip.
Yes.
Sleeping on it.
California
Trader Joe's frozen
cauliflower.
Greek dinner. Very specific. Very good.
Yes, but that's the problem though. That's what I don't like about Trader Joe's is you need a whole other trip to the. You can't just go to Trader Joe's instead of going to the grocery store.
No, because there's things that they have at the grocery store that you need also.
Right.
But in general, Trader Joe's, like 4 things. Anyway, but Trader Joe's is amazing. I love Trader Joe's.
Yes.
Very comfortable place to shop. And Jeffrey worked there, and someone decided to take a picture of him and basically. Clown it. They said the headline on Daily Mail and like some other news outlets we won't mention.
Yes.
From learning lines to serving the long line. So actually, he ended up having to quit working at Trader Joe's because of all the buzz about him working at Trader Joe's, which sucks. But he came out and did an interview with Robin Roberts, who we adore.
Of course. Thank you for everything you do.
And look, here's the thing. He's working an honest job. Nothing annoys me more than people that think they're too good to work.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So he was an actor, and he likes flexibility, so he can go to auditions, which is why he said he worked there. And that's an important thing. That's why when you live in LA, a lot of people are what? Servers, bartenders, they work in the service industry. So that, hey, if I have an audition tomorrow, I can switch shifts with somebody. I don't have a 9 to 5.
Right.
It just bothers me when people think that they're like it's so elitist. And it's gross. This guy went to Yale. Like he's
Yes.
not working at Trader Joe's because he's broke. Like he has an honest working job. Like who cares what this guy does?
Job shaming as a whole is just crazy as hell.
It's so disrespectful.
Crazy
And
as hell.
shout out to him for being positive about
Yes.
it because listen, there's a blessing in every storm. And of course, Tyler Perry
Right.
tweeted him and offered him a job on his next
that's
project.
awesome.
So whatever to you.
You survived
Whoever-
Cosby,
Yeah,
so
it's
good
like
for you.
haters. Haters gonna get lots of work this week for sure.
Yes.
So
They
that's
deserve
just,
it.
that's just lame. Number 2 losers this week: UCLA and Miami. Woo! Woo! Okay, first of all,
Them games.
those games. Wow. Okay, so Miami just that was just a disaster. It was a disaster at
rough start.
halftime.
It was a rough start.
It's I don't even know what happened. Like the defense was terrible.
Better than what you show.
And as far as UCLA goes, like you cannot lose to Cincinnati on your first game. You can't do it. You just can't do it.
Who's going to lose more games this year? Chip Kelly or what's the one we just talked about? Chucky, Raiders.
Oh, Gruden.
Yeah.
Why did it take you so long to get there?
I don't know.
Who's gonna lose more games? I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Chucky. Like
Chip Kelly looked pretty horrendous out there. Bad decisions being made. I felt bad for Earl.
Yes, Earl was upset. And look, there's major expectations on Chip Kelly at UCLA because they paid him a bag to come there. And look, this is gonna be a big test of Chip Kelly. Like Chip Kelly already has a reputation, so
He don't care about none of that. He's probably in Manhattan Beach with all that money, chilling. He's like, oh, what time meeting starts? I'll be there 5 minutes before.
he better not be.
Okay.
Just chilling.
We'll see.
And who do they have next week? Oklahoma? No, yeah, Oklahoma, right? Yeah.
I mean, Oklahoma is a really, 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 really good college football team.
Oh my God.
We might see them in the playoffs
They
again.
they might lose by 60.
That quarterback's good too. He's going to
Anyway,
MLB,
Miami, I'm very disappointed in you. All right, number 1. This is very important. This is taking the internet by storm. It's a big deal. All right, so Alexa Greenfield, you may not know her, but you know her now because she is the lady that dipped chicken tenders in soda. This is all over the news. Okay,
at a game.
at a game.
At US
At
Open,
the
yes,
US
sir,
Open.
yes,
Okay,
at the
sorry.
US Open.
Yeah, at the
I'm
US
just making sure like it's not just like sitting at home.
No.
post
Nobody
a
invaded this
picture.
woman's home and saw her dipping
yeah.
chicken tenders in soda. She was in a public place, the U.S. Open. So she was interviewed and she said she's been doing it her entire life, which is super weird.
What a diet.
She's
Just consistently chicken tenders and.
She never drinks the soda.
Dr.
She
Pepper.
just buys it for dunking purposes.
Okay, I like that actually.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
No ice.
I don't like to food shame people. I don't like to job shame people.
Right.
I don't like to food shame people. I don't like to fan shame people. I feel like however you choose to spend your money or
Right.
earn your money, as long as it is legal and not hurting other people. I don't 100% believe that last part, but like the hurting other people thing is not cool.
Right.
The legal thing, yeah.
Did you say don't food shame people?
Food shame?
Yeah, you don't.
Well, except for you. You eat nonsense.
Yeah,
I mean, look at you. Wait, so what do you mean? We're sitting in a room. You have got sushi sitting next to you.
It's Susie.
uneaten.
It's,
I haven't
it's,
had time to eat it.
It's Sushi
It's
Tuesday.
so hot in
It's
here.
Sushi Tuesday.
It's Sushi
It is so
Tuesdays
hot
at
in here.
Fox.
We're
It is
indoors
so
in Los
hot.
Angeles.
It is so hot in this damn room. Brandon is sweating.
Sweating
okay?
all the whole
That's just a
time.
Brandon problem.
That's
That's
all
not my
time.
sushi's
He's
problem.
sweating like Ray
Yeah.
giving a Hall of Fame speech. And you're
Literally felt
over
a
here
sweat
with
drip down
sushi.
my nose.
That's disgusting.
It is. It
No.
seems
You're
a
gonna
bit
get
hot.
sick. Actually, I don't even think you should eat that.
And it's delicious.
And furthermore, you get sushi delivered to your house. That's insane.
Ashley knows
Yes.
good sushi, and that's why Fox Sushi is
What do
good.
you mean?
It's
So
Sushi
okay, so
Tuesday.
in theory,
and Fridays
in
if you
theory,
catch it.
Sushi
you take
aficionado.
raw, someone
Yes.
someone prepares raw fish, and then puts it in a container, and then transports it to your house. Raw fish.
Yeah.
Nah, man. The raw, I gotta see it in the thing, and then it comes straight to the table, and then I eat it immediately.
I don't order sushi from
that
like.
hot ass
Stop.
sushi. It's been.
I don't
cooked
order
by
from
the
like
sweat
hole in
of
the
this
wall
room.
sushi places.
Oh
like
my! This
clearly
one.
it's from
this
like.
one can't waddle to the bathroom when she has
I'm
to
sorry, we're
urinate
not bougie
on an
enough
all-day
for you,
pool
but,
day,
like-
but. And can't eat sushi
Right?
that's-
that she hasn't
I'll
seen.
go sit in a pee-filled
just-
pool, but
listen,
I won't order
the peeing in the
delivery
pool is just
sushi.
practical. Okay, that's saving.
So is
I am in a
boxed up
certain- I
sushi
am in
at
a
this
certain
delicious
amount of time
place.
in my life. I'm not eating sushi here at work, and I can't
Top
believe
5
I've had
reasons
it
to work at Fox.
been sitting there.
Sushi
okay?
Tuesdays. Sushi Tuesdays.
I do
Founders
not-
Day is number 4.
Okay, so Anyway, this woman, everyone's very bothered. Like some people have suggested she go to jail. I feel like however you choose to eat your chicken tenders, you do that, lady. All right.
Have you done that?
I have not dunked chicken tenders in soda, but I think I should try it now. But the thing is, I'm not a sweet and salt person.
Yes,
I'm obsessed with salt. So I want my salt to be
why you're an alien.
unbothered by the sweetness. Okay? I want to eat my salty stuff, and then I would like to finish. Oh yeah, I'm an alien. Like I don't know, people that eat dinner and then have dessert. Why do you think dessert comes at the end of the meal? Because you want to finish off with something sweet. Oh yeah, I invented dessert too. Thank you for that. So I have made a list of my acceptable my list of top 5 chicken tender dipping sauces. We're huge condiment people around
yes,
here. Okay?
King condiments over here. Love it.
The more sauces you can put on something, the better. To me.
I've considered dieting by just like cutting out sauces for a month.
I mean, you really should.
just see what the body does.
It adds extra calories,
right? Exactly.
That you don't think of. Like you get the salad, I'm like,
Do you know?
I like a little lettuce with my dressing.
Do you notice like there's what is it? 45 calories in a Chick-fil-A sauce. 45.
That's not that bad, actually. How many do you go through?
I don't know. I'm not going to put that on wax right now.
I go through. I can go through one on an 8 pack.
On an 8-pack.
Yeah. What do you mean? A dip.
What are you doing with it?
What do you do?
Get in a squeeze, you drizzle it.
You roll your chicken. The chicken bites are this fucking big.
Yeah, when you dip, half the sauce
it's a whole
comes out.
container.
Oh my God! Don't talk about Chick-fil-A's 1 in an 8-pack. That is disgusting,
Okay.
Joy.
How many do you get?
dry ass chicken.
You get the 8-pack.
And
it's not dry.
If you're using one packet on an 8-pack, it is dry.
Accuse Chick-fil-A chicken tenders of being dry.
If you're gonna disrespect sauce like that, I'm gonna disrespect the chicken.
I mean, please. Okay, first of all, my acceptable dipping sauce, obviously number 1 is hot sauce. Everybody knows that. Number 2 is Polly sauce from Chick-fil-A. Number 3 is ranch. No. Number 3 is ranch.
Buttermilk.
Number 4 is a sleeper, aioli, which goes good on everything.
Now that's a very LA
Who
answer.
have you ever had any type of aioli brought to your table and you've not dipped everything in it?
I order aioli flights at restaurants that can accommodate. So good.
So good. Okay.
So good.
If you've never had aioli, find a place near you, wherever it is you are, and try the aioli. I guarantee you it's great. And then 5th is barbecue sauce, obviously. Now
flip that whole list,
and
I'm good.
No, I'm right. And then this is Ashley's ridiculous list. She has it on here, so obviously she wants me to read it. Number one is ranch. Number 2 is Whataburger cream gravy, which I don't know what that is because nobody eats Whataburger.
Obviously, Dairy Queen gravy is better than Whataburger gravy. Continue.
Cane sauce, which is very good.
Should be number 1, yes.
Chick-fil-A sauce, which I feel like is low.
Number 2.
And honey mustard is just stupid. Who eats
I don't want to hate on honey mustard, but people need to decide on what's honey mustard because sometimes you get honey mustard and get that glazed shit, and I don't know what restaurants. That's not honey mustard. I need the stuff with the freckles in it.
Also, I feel like you messed my list up, Ashley. Because I don't see
literally what you said.
I don't see white sauce on here. Oh, we can't.
Yum yum sauce.
We changed it.
Yum sauce. That's the one problem with Sushi Tuesdays.
She asked
yum
me
yum
about
sauce.
Dipping sauces.
Yes.
Which my list was different. But I had white sauce last night. Forgot how great that is.
That yum yum.
Oh, I could drink it. I could just drink it. Just.
I tell the people, I say, actually, just 2 of the cup, 2 of the yum yum in the cup. Don't mess around with none of. I don't need that.
I can dip in both.
Double yum yum, please.
Brandon, what are your top 5 dipping sauces?
I mean, just off the top of the dome, real Twix. You know what I'm saying? Got to go with that yum real Twix. You know what I'm saying? Chick-fil-A sauce, that Raisin Cane sauce, barbecue at any form and time. Probably Sweet Baby Ray's. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being real, I like Cholula when I'm going the spicy. You know what I'm saying? Not Tapatino. That's a little too spicy. You know what I'm feeling me? And then pulling up the rear on some traditional ketchup.
Yeah, the ketchup actually is strong.
Right.
But there's a movement against ketchup, which I don't appreciate.
You got to mix ketchup in with stuff. Yeah, there's a war on ketchup.
Ketchup and mayo is special sauce.
I don't like ketchup on hot dogs. I'm gonna go Chicago in on that.
I don't eat.
I'm a mustard.
Well, that would be a problem if people eat hot dogs, which I just don't believe in.
You can't not like hot dogs and eat bratwurst, Joy. It's insane. It's a crazy.
Tastes completely different.
It doesn't matter what it tastes. It's the same thing. It's like
crafted meat. There's spices. It's like saying sausage is the same thing as a hot dog. It's not the fucking same thing.
It's like, no, I don't want to eat a Looney Tunes, but I'll eat a Monstar. That's the equivalent.
Monsters are aliens. Tunes and Looney Tunes are
But it's the bigger. It's.
Donnie, is
Can
it the
someone
same thing?
please back me up on this?
What?
Can someone please?
And hot dogs are in that same family.
They're in the family. Of course, in the family. They're the same shape.
Bratwurst. Say it again.
Some hot dogs can be made better than what you're
No,
describing.
I don't believe in hot dogs. I just don't.
Bratwursts.
I don't. I
You're
fundamentally
insane.
don't believe in the existence of hot dogs. I don't believe in them.
I'm okay with that, but you have to stay consistent. All of those little wiener-like meat things have to go.
You know what? Tell a German person that bratwursts are the same thing as hot dogs.
I would love to. I would love to get in an argument with them in an eating contest.
I love bratwurst. So they're like smothered in sauerkraut.
Oh.
It's a little yellow mustard.
Yes.
Oh, where can I get that today?
Wiener Schnitzel in Santa Monica. Or not Wiener Schnitzel. That's a hot dog chain. I have to look it up. It's
Yeah.
something good. But
Thank
it's
you
good.
for the non-suggestion.
I'm always here for it.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Hmm.
Fantasy football haters are petty. Every year we go through this
Yes.
as a fantasy football player. People are like, I don't care about your team, who you drafted. I don't care about your fantasy football drafts, what your fantasy football name is. Nobody cares. And I don't care that you don't care. I care. Care about
You
myself.
should care.
Yes, it's important to me. I spend
Yes.
a lot of time in fantasy football, and every single year we get this. I told you that I was coming for the haters today. Mm-hmm. All right, no job shaming, no food shaming, unless you're Ashley and you eat weird things.
Right.
You don't like pickles either, huh?
Weirdo.
Out on pickles and mustard.
Show of hands who eats pickles in here.
Absolutely disgusting.
All of the hands.
I don't care. I don't care. It's absolutely disgusting.
John makes pickles.
That-
Why didn't you bring me any pickles?
That's a
Okay.
terrible choice in hobbies.
I need pickles now. That's why you're a weirdo. Told you.
Yeah. Everybody love pickle.
Everybody loves pickles.
No,
Anyway,
you don't.
so
pickle haters, comment on
No,
YouTube.
no pickle haters either. I will not
Pickle
condone it.
haters comment on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. No pickle shaming. Anyway, John Millman, this is a good tag for this. Just beat Roger Federer, and this is how important fantasy football is to people. All right, he beat Roger Federer at the U.S. Open. It ended around 1 a.m. And can we play this interview? Yeah, possibly.
We can now.
All right, we're gonna do it. And this is what he had to say.
Look, it's 1 o'clock now. I probably should try to get a recovery. I've got a 7 o'clock in the morning fantasy draft, so I'm going to get up for that and hopefully have a good draft. I'm second pick. I don't know whether to go Gurley or Le'Veon Bell.
I had one of my drafts on Sunday. I feel like I did well. Everybody loves their team after they draft it. Like I've ever heard someone like, I'm not sure about my team.
Oh, I'm always like that.
Well, you auto draft because you're sick.
Yeah, and I won't auto draft for the crazy.
No,
maybe
you're not
I'm
gonna
crazy.
auto draft. We're gonna do a Facebook Live. He's like, I'm gonna auto draft. What are we
Just,
gonna do?
you know,
What are we gonna talk about?
I mean,
Makes no sense.
I just, what happens at the end of the day.
Right.
Listen, I'm a waiver wire hero. I watch the free agency. I see what's going on. I see the trends. I know who's going to play what based on the weather and the team and the person
yeah.
playing. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I know how to play. Who to play.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we
Yes.
have our fantasy football league, our inaugural Maybe I'm Crazy fantasy football league,
Yep.
starting this week. I want to give a shout out to Tykia,
Bam.
Anthony, Lovell, Michael,
I think it's Lavelle.
Lavelle. Did I say Lovell
I
before?
want it to be Lavelle.
Lavelle. You probably right.
Yeah.
Lavelle.
Yeah.
Michael, Omar, Sterling, Richard, Chelsea, Christopher, and Adam have all made our team.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody who submitted. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. And there'll be other contests throughout the year. So we appreciate the love and congrats to everybody who made it. We'll be doing our draft this week, which will be entertaining because we are going to actually make Brandon do the drafting as opposed to just sitting there and staring at the screen.
We're
and
going to
letting
Joy's
the computer
place.
decide for him, which is so weird. But anyway, I don't have time for you fantasy football haters. My team is awesome. We're going to talk about it all year round. This is the thing. This is why people don't care about your team because you're like, I don't care about your team because I don't have that person on my team. Like, so what? You know what's so pleasant
How's it-
when you're like, man, my fantasy team just didn't do well this year, this week. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a real dud.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, really? What player didn't perform for you? You know, like I decided to start Jordy Nelson. You know, I was just bad. You know, Derek Carr, like just couldn't connect. And I feel you. You know what happened to me? And then you just have a nice conversation about your fantasy
I was
team.
gonna say,
It
this
doesn't
sounds-
always have to be, I don't have anyone on your team. I don't care about your stupid fantasy team. I care. You know what? I care about.
I
your
know
fantasy
there's
team.
all good conversations to have. We all know how Jordy Nelson did. It was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I almost started him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Yeah,
Exactly.
just football talk.
You know,
It's fantasy football, not a fantasy world, Joy. No one cares about your fantasy team.
Oh
I don't
my
care.
gosh, what
you
is
know
this?
what?
What is
This
this
is
trope?
person.
Yeah.
You know.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah. Where did you come from? You are not here all day. You come in bringing food.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna put you on blast. Prince of Privilege. All right. This is the reason why we call you this.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah. 2 weeks ago.
Fish.
We're in the meeting, and this you guys can't see this room, but it's very small.
Yes.
And
surprise.
And this person decides to. I see the mustache is coming back also. That lasted long. I saw Black Klansman.
Yes.
What's up? You saw it?
I saw Black Klansman.
And you know why I shaved it now, right? You know
Yeah,
why
but
I shaved the
see that it's back,
mustache.
so you know.
Feeling a little
No one had
racist.
a goatee like this.
And
That I
you're not
remember.
wearing any Nike. You're very suspect today, Helen.
Oh, no Adidas though. No Adidas though. I'm not a Nazi sympathizer,
You're
so I don't
wearing
wear that
brown
Adidas.
boots, so
Those look like
Brown boots are racist now.
those look like easy boots to me.
I'm giving you mustaches,
I'm just-
Adidas, everything. Brown boots gotta be
anyway,
racist
the
too.
point is he brought fucking fish into this room for lunch. It's just fish is such a disrespectful thing to eat inside.
Unless it's Sushi Tuesday.
How do you feel about Sushi Tuesday?
I had sushi earlier. This
Oh.
is my second one.
Very popular at Fox. Sushi
I
Tuesdays.
don't understand it.
I used to live for it.
I truly don't.
Now I live for
understand
this.
it. All right, what's in the culture report?
Alrighty. Eminem dropped a surprise album.
Wrong.
What?
It's Beyonce's birthday.
Oh my gosh! I saw it, and I was hoping that you did. I was gonna give you your time.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Shouts out to the black version of Happy Birthday.
Okay.
Has to be singing it all, no matter what color the birthday is. Got to be singing that. Okay, it's Beyonce's birthday today. What do you do with the Queen on her birthday?
Just celebrate the greatness that is Beyonce. And now we can move on.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Beyonce got a little shout out here. Okay. Eminem dropped a surprise album, Kamikaze, on Friday of Labor Day weekend. Surprise albums are really boosting the record sales, a trend made popular by Queen Bee.
Bay.
Yes, and Lemonade and her birthday. In Kamikaze, Slim Shady takes shots at Lil Uzi, Drake, G-Eazy, and devotes an entire song titled Not Alike to Cleveland's own Machine Gun Kelly. Although the two Midwestern rappers have beefed in the past, over the weekend, the white-on-white verbal violence reached an all-time high. Machine Gun Kelly issued a response to this to the patron saint Marshall Mathers, a.k.a. Rap God, in a downright evil diss track titled Rap Devil. We agree that it's great. As a Detroit representative, I think it's the greatest stand diss of all time. The Rap Devil MGK says, the last time you seen 8 Mile, you was at home on your treadmill.
He also says he's sick of those sweatsuits and
weird
corny
hats and the
Let's
weird
talk
beard.
about it.
He's got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Do we have to talk about it though? Because I feel like we don't talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it either.
Because he just looked okay, like a mannequin. Bring it back. As someone who was driving around 8 Mile last month, I can vouch for MGK. Eminem was not there. Little Haley from the Eminem show was referenced, and I'm happy to report that the rap beef ain't going nowhere, Joy. Couldn't be happier. It is great for the sport.
I would agree with that. I didn't feel like that was like a win it or quit it.
No, I mean it is. You pushed against beef. You pushed against beef,
Well,
and it is good. It's good right now.
It's not real.
Who could have thought Drake and Kanye and Jay-Z are beefing?
Remember that time Drake was done? I love that time. Remember that time? Remember that time that Drake's career was over?
I'm just saying.
We're never gonna hear from Drake again.
I'm saying we're at an
Drake
all-time
was
high.
gonna have to tour with he's gonna have to open for Taylor Swift. Remember that?
Could you imagine?
Look, because it's just silly. I enjoyed these though. I thought both songs were very good.
Yes.
I thought they both had bars.
You've made fun of Eminem's bars before.
I made fun. How dare you?
That's what you did.
Oh, when Nicki, I couldn't understand him. It was too fast. You gotta slow down. It's like Twister. Like, are you Twister or are you not Twister? I can't understand. I like the song.
Shouts out Twister.
But I can't understand what you're saying. But look, it's fun. It's fun. It's funny. Yeah, they were funny lines in both.
Someone is. I mean, this shouldn't be joked about, but people are saying that Rap Devil is a suicide note because Eminem is going to come and destroy Machine Gun Kelly's career effectively.
I
think Drake being X'd out of the community is hilarious. Machine Gun Kelly is plausible.
We'll see.
It's plausible. He's got Bit Diddy on his back. Okay, moving. Childish Gambino, Feels Like Summer video. On Labor Day, the artist formerly known as Donald Glover finally released a music video for the smooth summer hit Feels Like Summer. In a completely animated video, it depicts Childish walking through the streets of a hot summer. Culturally relevant celebrities are making cameo after cameo. in the animated streets, from illustrated versions of our favorite Ball brothers playing video games on the porch to Michelle Obama hugging a tearful Kanye West while wearing a Make America Great Again hat. The Atlanta native stays on the forefront of creativity, representations of America through the lens of Black people. Joy, you know I'm a Black nerd who loves comic books, animated series, and pretty much anything that Childish Gambino touches. But there's no denying that a little togetherness in America and in the rap game is what we need right now.
Yeah, it's fine. We all love each other now, right? That's the message.
Yeah, whatever.
Because it's summer. It's fall now.
Yeah.
So.
Culture report.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on our new YouTube page. Please subscribe and share with your friends and leave comments.
We got 1,000 subscribers in the first week. And let's keep that trend up. Yes. The Crazy Gang's out here. We ask you to keep this up, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And it's been a year. Went fast, huh?
Yes, right? Just in here in this room, being hot, sweating, talking about
sports and
shit.
Exactly. So thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media pages at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod. Thanks to LT for joining us this week. Enjoy. Football's back. Football's back.
Football's back.
It's exciting.
Yes.
So that's happening, and the Lakers are definitely winning a championship next year. On the low.
With the money they got.
Yeah. So we'll catch you next week. Appreciate it. We love you.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.